So I call this project Alphabetones, and what the program does is it takes a user input picture, a PNG, and it converts it into a grid of colorful text characters, and that'll match the picture's appearance. So stylistically, the output that you're going to get is similar to halftone shading that you can find in comic books all the time, but instead of using dots of a certain size to represent value, you're using letters, numbers, and characters of certain sizes to represent the value of each part of the image. So yeah, let's get down to demoing this. So it'll ask you the input file. For this one, I'm going to use this image, frog2. So frog2.png. And then you can customize the height resolution. So even though the image is 1080 pixels tall, 1080p, I can make a 4K image out of this. Now tile edge length, that's the amount of detail that you want in the image. So the way this code works is it divides the input image up into tiles of a certain, square tiles of a certain dimension, so like 20 by 20 pixels. And then it'll average the RGB values of each pixel in the tile for every tile. And so it'll have an average value for each tile that it uses to determine the size of the character that's going to be formed on top of that tile in the output image. And so the shorter the tile edge length is, the more detailed that you'll get and the more tiles you'll have, which means the more characters you'll have. So text, I'm just gonna say frog, which means it's gonna repeat those letters over and over. Now character size, you can customize the character size by just multiplying whatever the algorithm spits out by a certain number, and you might want to use that if the image is too light or too dark and you're getting a lot of overlapping characters or a lot of really spaced out characters. But I'm just gonna say 1 for here. Now the background color of the image, I'll just do black. You can do anything you want though. Now the light color of the image and the shadow color of the image, I'll just enter in red and green. So what this does is for each tile that you get, obviously you have an average value, which is used to determine that it uses that to determine the size of the letter, but also you can say if it's greater than a certain shadow threshold value, for example 160, then you use the light color to generate the character where that tile is. So you get red wherever it's light enough, and you get green, the shadow color, wherever it's not light enough to cross the shadow threshold. And so with this image, the lightest part is the eyes. That's the highest average value. So I tested it, and 160 is going to give me an image where just the eyes are red. So we're going to get an evil frog. And there we go. That's the output of this image.